Well, good morning from Chisinau, Moldova. Tanya and I have been here for the last 3 days or so, and we've finally are about ready to go into downtown Chisinau. We've been out touring the countryside with our guide, Natalia, and we're on our own today, and she's given us a list of some of the highlights to see. And so after we see the highlights, we'll see if we can see if that differs at all from the real Chisinau. Anyway, we are staying here in the Gregory Hotel. It's very nice. It has 5 stars on its sign out there. That might be a little ambitious, but it's a very nice place. We have a little balcony you can see up there. And anyway, we'll show you that a little bit later. But the it's about $157 a night. So, and this is a fairly not top end hotel, but up there, and would otherwise be and in a great part of town. So we are very close to everything that's happening. So we're gonna go out and see what's happening. It's a Wednesday afternoon. We'll see how much activity there is in town on a Wednesday. See you shortly. So far, what we've seen of Chisinau is that it's a beautiful city. It, of course, is the capital of Moldova. It's summertime, so it's very green. It's a very clean city that we have seen. Now we are in a nice neighborhood, but yeah, so far so good. One of the things that we would recommend our viewers, if you're coming to a place that is not well known, like Chisinau, it is really helpful to hire a guide, or if that's maybe a little out of your budget range. Most guides are not that expensive, and or you could go with a small group if they are available. In destinations like Chisinau, there just aren't that many tourists that come here, so you end up having your own guide / driver, and that's been really wonderful. You really get a good idea of what you're going to see, what the history of the place, any questions that you have, and plus it just gives you a good introduction to where you are, so you know what's going on. As we're filming this, it is the first week of August, and the Paris Olympics are still underway. And in our neighborhood, it just happens to be the headquarters of the Moldovan Olympic Committee, with the 5 rings there, of course, and a very stately little building. And this is where it all happens for getting ready for the Olympics. So we don't recall exactly, we'll see if we can find out, but exactly what this triumphal arch is commemorating. But you know, the Moldovans have been involved in so many different conflicts over the centuries: the Ottomans, the French, of course the Germans, and then they were part of the Soviet Union. They've just had a lot of people taking them over. There it is, a beautiful little arch, and like I say, goes right across the street here to the National Assembly, and then a lovely church across from this park. You know, in preparation for our trip here, Tanya and I looked at a number of YouTube videos, and what we found, it was all pretty dismal. And I don't know whether it was all because it was done at bad times of the year, weather-wise, but you know, it's just, we have found Moldova in general and Chisinau to be just a beautiful city. Every city has its ups and downs, but this is really pretty good. So this is the Metropolitan Cathedral of Christ's Nativity, and which is one of the highlights that our guide Natalia put on her list. And it's in this beautiful park called, appropriately, Cathedral Park. And there's just lots of greenery. Tanya just loves it. Any
I just love it.
Any comments specifically? Oh, Tanya's a pretty intrepid traveler, but sometimes it just gets to her. We're going through the Chisinau Central Market, and I got to tell you, we've been in markets all over the world, but I tell you, this has got to be one of the biggest that we've seen. I mean, there's buildings after buildings, and there's stalls all over. I mean, you really have to know what you're looking for. Yeah. Fortunately, things are pretty much grouped by product. There was an entire street, one thing after another, with nothing but eggs, chicken eggs, one after another. And here's one where all these, seeds and fennel and that sort of thing. Here's one with all the toiletry products, one after another of lentils. They have some very popular pressure cookers here that sort of their version of Instapot. I don't know whether I would trust them, but there they are. I think the important thing is that if you come to Chisinau, I think you'd want to be in an apartment or some kind of a stay that had a kitchen and stay here for at least a week. Don't you think, Tanya?
I think so.
Tanya agrees, because if you're going to get any stuff that you need, this is the place to do it. We haven't seen that many supermarkets, and good reason. Everything you want is here.
Lapsha.
Tanya is finding some lapsha, which is one of her favorite Russian-style pastas to go in with chicken soup. Unfortunately, we already bought some in Transnistria the other day, and we only have so much room in our luggage. Now, everything you hear about Moldova is that it is one of the poorest countries in Europe, and there's a there's a significant upper class and no middle class, or very small middle class, and the rest are poor. But if you come to a place like this, maybe this is where whatever middle class there is and the poor people shop it. I mean, they are buying things, and things are reasonably priced. I don't know. This is where I'd go. And of course, melons, tons of watermelons, and all sorts of onions. It's just amazing. There is a certain type of watermelon that some people make, and it has, it's like fermented, but not fermented to the point where it explodes. And they put vinegar in it, ends up with after 6 weeks or so, very interesting sweet and sour kind of taste. We're in the women's wear area, and of course Tanya is captivated by some of these outfits. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I'm just curious how they made it. Sewed an extra panel onto pants.
So Tanya's picking up design tips here in Chisinau. When she gets back to Tennessee, this is what she's going to make. Okay, good. careful. I'll try not to talk too loudly so that to draw unnecessary attention to ourselves, because we are outdoor dining right now. We are at Pizzeria Napoli, which is sort of our go-to place in our little neighborhood. And the lovely Tanya is over here anxiously awaiting her pizza, because they've done such a fabulous job. What pizza are we having tonight, dear?
Well, we're having one. Sorry, you had a bug on you. It has ham and mushrooms and artichoke hearts.
Okay.
And cheese.
Okay. Great. So you can see Tanya's very excited about that. We're going to have that and a pizza diavola, which has pepperoni. One thing about Moldova is that they speak Romanian primarily, English, and Russian. And the Romanian language is very interesting and is Latin based, and there's so much of it that is like Latin. So a place like Pizzeria Napoli, which is Italian, of course, they're speaking Italian. They're, and you listen to the language, it's as if everybody is speaking in a Latin derivative. It's just, it's very, it's interesting. It's just fascinating. And there's, people here out here. It's a lovely summer evening. They're just enjoying themselves. I'm not going to be intrusive here, but there it is. We have our wine. Tanya, everything to your satisfaction so
Lovely.
far? How's the color, the clarity, the nose?
Top.
And you want to give it a swirl, see what you think? We went to a wine tasting yesterday at the Kirkova Winery, and we, of course, learned the usual. And Tanya's...
it's kind of cold.
It's cold, yeah.
It comes from the fridge.
Yes.
But it's very pleasant.
Okay, good. That's right. Okay, good. So it'll go perfectly with our pizza, I'm sure. So we're not going to bore you anymore with this. And the lovely Tanya and I have this. Yes, that's you, Tanya. We have decided that we're going to forego all of these overpriced restaurants that, of course, everyone says you must go to. And of course, they figure, okay, look, you're a foreigner, you're a walking wallet. You're from a rich country. It means nothing to you to spend a bunch of money on, some rubbish. I wouldn't go that far. But,
okay, it wasn't that.
Yeah. So what we're doing, we are at Andy's Pizzeria, and this one is an Andy's restaurant. These are all over Moldova, and this is where real people come to eat, and it's very air conditioned and very nice. So we're going to have a couple of bowls of the traditional chicken soup, and I'm having a Chisinau beer. Tanya's got a glass of wine, and here we got the beer, the wine.
They even chilled the glass. Before they put the wine in.
So this is our last night in Chisinau. So we're living it up at Andy's. So any of you coming to Chisinau, this is
very satisfying place.
We'll see. We haven't finished it. We haven't gotten our order yet, but we'll see. Looks like this is probably the place. Well, we finished up here at Andy's and got the final bill in a large half-liter beer, a very nice glass of Chardonnay, 2 bowls of Moldavian chicken soup
with a little lakcha,
yep, and right, exactly, and what else? A Caesar salad with shrimp. And the grand total in U.S. dollars was $19.80 with a small tip in there. So 10% or so, rounding up, and that's acceptable. So there you go. I think that was a pretty good deal.
And it was enjoyable.
Very enjoyable, and we're quite satiated. Now we're going to ramble on back to our hotel and get ready to start again tomorrow.
Another event.
Bye-bye.